Hi everyone, it's me again, SuddenlyNinja, and you're watching a new and exciting episode of In the Beginning. Now this week, we're going to go on an adventure together, so put on your adventuring boots and pick up your knapsack, but remember, this is not just any adventure, this is a special type of adventure. You get it? Type? It's like typing words on the keyboard. No? Okay, never mind. Let me explain. This week, we're taking a look at Words for Evil by Dylan Loney. Now, this game is not easily described to someone who's never heard or seen a similar game like Typing of the Dead or other typing adventure games, but the basic idea is actually quite simple. What you have here is your basic party-driven adventure game where you level up skills and attributes, and you gather party members and loot, you disable traps, and you do quests and all those familiar things, only you do all of that by typing. You play the entire game by making combinations of letters and forming them into words. Now this is where it gets interesting. When your party engages an enemy in battle, you are shown a grid of random letters and you have to combine those letters into certain words in order to attack the enemy you're facing. Now I know that sounds easy enough, but you can only damage an enemy if you make a word using a few specifically chosen letters on the grid. You have to use those letters in your word, otherwise the word will do no damage. That sounds easy, right? I know it's not easy to explain, but it works wonderful once you get the hang of it. Of course, English not being my main language, I had a little bit more trouble with forming words than maybe a native speaker would, but I still managed to have a lot of fun with it, even if the game sometimes scrambles the letters in such a way that there's no possible way you're going to get a word out of that. Besides all that, there's a couple more mini-games in the game that I think are really creative solutions to some of the old and dusty game mechanics that we've been having in adventure games for far too long now. I mean, remember how in other games when you encounter a chest, you have to mash a button to open it, or you have to play some sort of pin wiggly mini-game, but in Words for Evil you are presented with 2 rows of random letters and you have to find the word that's hidden in those rows. Again, this sounds really complicated, but once you've seen it a couple of times, it gets incredibly rewarding to get it right, and I think it's a great system to replace the boring button mash that some games use. Now finally, I wanted to touch upon the RPG element slightly, because this game is basically a type-driven adventure role-playing game mixed with a hint of traditional adventure role-playing things like armor and weapons and skills and all that, but it never really becomes an RPG. This game is more about having fun with the typing element than it is about building your character and expanding his range of skills, which is fine. I mean, the typing element is really good and really well thought out, and it works like a charm, but I was a little bit disappointed at the lack of customization. I would have liked to be able to put some silly hats on my ranger, but that's just me, and everyone knows games become infinitely more fun when you add hats to the mix. So, Words for Evil, I have to say, it did kind of surprise me when I first picked it up and I played it. I was expecting something, I don't know, simpler? I don't really know what I was expecting, but what I got was a pretty entertaining, a pretty cute and innovative adventure game that taught me a lot of new words as well, so there's another upside to playing video games right there. Now, although the game relies heavily on the typing part, the surrounding mechanics are all very well implemented as well, so it never really gets repetitive or boring, and all in all, I think I'm happy to have played it, and I recommend you do the same. Words for Evil is for sale right now on itch for $5, and it also entered into the Steam Greenlight program. Both of those links will be in the description below. That is all for this week. I would like to thank you very much for joining me on this episode of In the Beginning. Make sure to stay tuned for new episodes every Friday. If you like this preview, you would be doing me a huge favor by sharing it with your friends on the Facebook and on the Twitter and all that, or you can simply leave me a nice comment below this video. I will do my very best to respond to every single comment I get. That's it. My name is SuddenlyNinja, and I will see you next week.